Hey everybody, my name is Angela Godwin and this is Water Talk brought to you by Water Online. We are here at WEFTEC 2023 in Chicago and my guest joining me this afternoon is Martin Bureau. He is with ALTRA. Martin, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk to you a little bit about PFAS. Of course, Montreal is a beautiful city, very lively, lots going on. Also a lot going on with regard to PFAS.
Yeah, indeed. In Montreal, in the last 20 years, a series of events led to the city becoming one of the hub in the world for PFAS research due to the terrible accident in Mégantic at the beginning of in 2013, as a matter of fact, where a train exploded full of hydrocarbon, which were put out by PFAS, AFFF, containing a lot of PFAS. This triggered a lot of research at both McGill and University of Montreal, and they became one of the top labs for analyzing PFAS on the whole planet. Professor Sauvé probably is the best in the world, and for the quality of the analysis they do. And that has triggered all sorts of companies, including ourselves, to work with these firms to understand, during the Mégantic remediation, for example, what worked. Because we treated so much water, so complicated to treat, and we found a lot of interaction that led to unexplained events. Invested, some money in there, and that explains part of how hot water Montreal is. Plus, the city of Montreal and the government of Quebec has invested a lot to protect our resources. Montreal is known for its leadership in its urban infrastructures, water infrastructures in particular. So that probably explains why there's so much happening company-wise as well. Lots of startups dealing with water metrics, PFAS, with us in particular. Yeah. So that's a pretty cool place to be right now.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. A lot going on. I understand earlier this year, too, you signed an agreement with an organization called Waste Connections. Yeah. What is that all about?
Well, Waste Connection is the number 3 of the waste management, the waste management companies in North America.
Interesting.
And they were looking for solutions for one of their landfills, a large one in Minnesota. It's been announced publicly. It's called Rosemont. And they also get some leachate from Rich Valley, and it's a typical story. The wastewater treatment plant that gets their leachate wants to continue treating those leachate, but they cannot do the PFAS. They don't want the PFAS anymore. So Waste Connection decided to take the lead, take a position of leadership into PFAS remediation, because right now, anywhere there's no regulation for forcing landfills to treat PFAS in their leachate, but the public don't want it, and as a result, POTWs, publicly owned treatment plant, don't want them either. So their leadership decided that they would be the first to solve the PFAS situation. So that led to that deal being signed, another Seneca being signed, which we're very proud of. We'll be mobilizing to Minnesota in October 30th.
Wow!
Like just now.
That's coming up. That's only a couple of weeks away.
Yeah. We're excited.
So we're talking a lot about PFAS. It can be very expensive, to treat PFAS. Do you think people understand what the costs are, or has that been sort of downplayed? Would you say?
Yeah. Yes and no. The fact that there's no regulations yet has put some of the players in the industry in a waiting mode. They decided we won't move until we know what we have to treat. And that has stopped that wheel from rolling and all that, learning curve being absorbed and so on. And there's tons of consultants out there that still, sing the same song, same old technologies, carbon, resin, reverse osmosis, all the time. And when you look at those as solutions, it's definitely way too expensive, and people don't realize they don't have to do that. There are solutions that are more cost effective and more efficient at removing PFAS. and then those same old solutions. But they need to be implemented differently. They need to be implemented at sources of PFAS in particular. Landfill leachate being an example. It's an indirect source. They didn't produce PFAS, but they receive products that have PFAS into them. So that's where we need to focus. When we do that, and define the problem in a better way, not at the end of the spectrum at the wastewater treatment plant, for example, then the economics make sense. If you do that at the end of the spectrum, I gave a speech earlier. The Stickney water reclamation plant here in Chicago, one of the largest in the world. If it applied those same old solution in carbon alone, would spend $1.1 million per day in carbon.
Wow.
So obviously not a sustainable solution.
Right, for sure.
Yeah.
One of the things I know you guys talk about a lot is the safety aspect of your product. What makes it safer than other options out there?
Well, because of the emissions. PFAS, if they will expose people through water consumption, whether it's through something you eat or something that you wear on you, and it will go through the skin, or of course if you drink water with PFAS into it. The treatment methods do not necessarily expose workers or operators around PFAS unit as long as though it remains in the water. But companies that burn PFAS have serious emissions of water droplets, vapors, and byproducts of PFAS. And that's a serious worry. And that's why in this state, for example, they have put a temporary ban on incineration of PFAS, because they don't trust that we're capturing all the PFAS correctly. The same goes for destruction technologies on site. And there's many, but they all have that problem. And some of the technologies that are similar to ours, what we do for PFAS, we fractionate them, taking advantage of their natural ability to foam. So we extract the foam out of a liquid that's full of PFAS. The PFAS will go in the foam. If you have a dry foam, meaning that there's very little water in that foam, then you have a lot of PFAS into it. So that's the technology. All the other technologies except us work in batch mode, meaning that they need to transfer the foam from one reactor to the other. And they do that by suction, vacuum or whatever. And that will engage a lot of water droplets. We know, we tried it. And that is a serious threat to workers around if it's not captured properly. And right now we're going through the permitting in New York State, and that's their number one concern. Since we work in closed loop and there's no transfer of air whatsoever within the system, then we don't have those emissions at all. They just don't exist. And that's why it's much safer. And that's a significant advantage for the future, for sure.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
that's really great. So, Martin, if people are watching and they want to learn a little bit more about ALTRA or the solutions that you provide, where could they go?
Well, we got a great website. It took a little while to get, but now it's fantastic. It's www.altragroup.com. Easy to access. You'll see all our water-related technologies, water main lining, PFAS remediation, and many others.
Excellent. Well, Martin, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
It's really my pleasure to be here. You're a wonderful host. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And we wish you all the best of luck going forward.
Thanks.
And to all of you watching, we thank you for your time and for tuning in. My name is Angela Godwin.